Alright, this is a slide hammer, right? So you can see the way this works is it's a shaft. It's got kind of a little knob here at the end. This slides back and forth. It's threaded on the end. Now my hole ended up kind of off center. It's not real great and looks like it's a little bit crooked. That's alright though, it should still work. So the idea is grab a hold of this. Yep. As you can see, the pin's starting to come out. Just like that. So, got a pin that's stuck. That's one way to get it out. Now you can see how crooked my hole was. Still worked though, so no big deal. Got that out of there. So, alright. So that's that step. Now I've also brought a different pair of snap ring pliers that maybe I can make work to get these snap rings off. And I've brought just some regular wrenches. We'll see if I can get them in there. I don't know if it'll work or not. So let's give that a try. Alright, as you can see, I was able to get those lines off. I guess I forgot to grab my snap ring pliers though that I was going to try. So, yeah, still kind of stuck. But I got those off, so let's go get the other side. Well, okay, so all 4 hydraulic lines are loose. Snap rings. That's all I'm lacking to get these 2 front cylinders off. So I'm gonna mess with that. Sometimes you can kind of get them with, if I can grab them with like pliers and then a hammer, a screwdriver, a punch or something maybe. This one especially, since the ring's actually too small, I've got a lot of room to work with in between it. So this is what I mean when I say it's too small. See this big gap in here? I think it's stretched out more than it's supposed to be. If we look at this one's more what they normally look like. So they're right next to each other there. So that one I don't know if I'll be able to get off, but the other one maybe. So let's try it. Check it out. That clip kind of came off in pieces, so it'll have to get replaced. Let's go mess with the other one. That one I'm not so sure if I can get it off. Alright, I was able to get this one down. I left this steel hose just on it's not really a hose, a steel pipe on the tractor, so no big deal. That was easier to take off that way. It came out pretty easy. The pins were nice and greasy and wet, so they both just slipped right out. Having trouble with one of them though. It's this one right here, and lines are disconnected, all 3 of them. Snap rings off on the bottom. I can't get this pin out, and it's not that it's really stuck in there, I don't think, but I can't, there's no way to get to the back side of it to hammer on it or anything. So I'm not sure how to get that out of there. My thought right now is I could take this grease zerk out and put it's an 1/8 inch NPT fitting. So maybe if I had like an 1/8 inch NPT pipe nipple I could thread in there, and that would give me a handle that I could then either tap on with a hammer or get the slide hammer back on it or something like that. I don't know. So it's held in there with this kind of a roll pin type thing, and that's out far enough. I'm able to move it back and forth just a little bit using a punch in the hole here. I can move it back and forth a little bit, so I know that pin's out far enough that it's free. I just can't get it to come out, and it's just there's nothing to grab a hold of it by. So I don't know. I got a couple more tricks I might try, and then we'll resort to finding something I can thread in there and pull it out that way. Boom. I mentioned how great my neighbors are. Different neighbor this time. Usually it's Jane and them right down the road that bailed me out, Jane and Matt. This time it was her mom. She had this high lift jack that I borrowed and just lifted up on this just a little bit, and that was enough to free this up so that it was loose. My pin was actually still stuck in the back, just barely. So I got a screwdriver and tapped it the rest of the way out, and that should be free now. So all I gotta do is fish all the hydraulic lines out of there and pull it off the bottom, we'll be good to go. So at this point, I have every hydraulic cylinder that I'm going to rebuild except for that one. That one's going to be a booger to get to. And I'm not even quite sure how it comes out. So I think I have to, there's a plate down here. I have to take this out, drive this pin out from the top, and that'll free this side up. And then I'm really hoping that I can just turn this far enough and pull it all out this way and not actually have to take those cylinders off. So to get them off, I'd have to take those big bolts out there, 2 more on this side, then this plate would come off, and then the cylinder will lift up out of, it's kind of sitting in a hole on the bottom side, similar to the way the top looks here, right? And so then that would come out, and then those hydraulic lines, let me see where we're at here. That's one of them, and the other one goes back there somewhere. I'm not quite sure. Maybe up there. Or, well, it's connected to the other cylinders. So these are kind of weird the way they work, because anytime you power, like if you push in on this side, you're also pushing out on the other one. They always work opposite of each other. So they'll be connected together. Like I said, though, hopefully I can just pull this out, get this gland loose, and it's not leaking that bad. It does need to be done though. So for now, what I'm going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and get all these cylinders taken to work that I have off, just because I've got a nice workspace there. So got them all kind of laying on the ground over here. We'll get these other ones in. So this one, that one, and the leveling cylinder. I've already got the other one there. We'll get them all pulled apart, see what kind of seal kits I need for them, and we'll be able to get all those ordered, and I'll at least have all those on the way so that I can get the loader put back together, and I can get the backhoe here put back together. And then once this is all reassembled and it works, I may be able to turn this and kind of get the cylinder, those swing cylinders, kind of where they're in a better spot. We'll see, and I may end up just having to take them all the way out. So we'll find out. But I'm gonna need some bigger tools than I have to be able to get those big nuts off the inside there, I think. So for now, we're done here, and I'm gonna go pull apart the front end of my tractor, and because I need to take it to work as well. I'm gonna need the press, and so hopefully tomorrow I can go get all that stuff, all the bearings pressed out, and the spindle bushings and the lug studs and everything. I can get all those pressed out, get the new stuff pressed in, and then I can get it reassembled this weekend. It'd be great to have that complete and redone. So I'm gonna try and do that tomorrow. So all right, I'm gonna get this fish the rest of the way out of here, and we'll get them all loaded up in the back of the truck. We'll go start on the Ford tractor. All right, we got the spindles pulled out. This used to be a ball bearing. So here's some of the balls. This should all be one little group. So that's not cool. So that's the outside of the bearing. This is off the other side. It's off of that spindle over there. Here's a piece of the bearing. Not good. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take these little L-shaped pieces off. I'm going to have to take them into work with me. Now, you can kind of see this part right here. That is supposed to be a bushing. Now, it's been deformed and it's starting to come up out of the hole right there. You guys kind of see that? That should be down inside there. It shouldn't be sticking up like that. There's one here, and there's one about this level, and then there's a ball bearing down there. So I'm going to need to get both of those bushings out of there, and I'll have to look and see. I don't remember seeing ball bearings in my kit, so I may have to get some ball bearing spot. Those should be thrust bearings specifically, I think. Lose that. These had keys in them, See that little slot there? It's kind of a half moon shape. These are called woodruff keys. They were kind of hard to get out of there, but once you take this piece off, this is what connects your front wheels to the steering. It's like your steering linkage. Take those off, you get that key out, and the spindle just drops right out the bottom. Now, I'm noticing on these, I can't show you with one hand. These are bad though. I need new tie rod ends. So I need them here. I'm gonna just assume that these ones are gonna need to be replaced as well. Yeah, there you kind of see how it's got some linear play to it there. This one's much worse. So I'm gonna get those ordered. That's gonna slow me down a little bit. I'm not gonna be able to put this back together immediately, and that sucks. What I may do is just go ahead and put it back together, because all this stuff is on the top. I don't have to actually have the spindles disassembled in order to get to these. Maybe I can show you on this one. It's actually not as bad. But just, yeah, it's all, I don't know, it doesn't seem right. It seems too loose. So I'll get the spindles all reassembled and stuff, and I'll get them back in there. We're going to get those tie rod ends on the way, and I guess I can come back and do those later, because they thread out the end there and just sit right in there. There's some on the back end here as well. These are going to be harder to replace, so I think for now I'm just going to leave them be. They actually still have the rubber boot on them. They don't look as bad. Both sides are kind of that way. So, yeah, okay. So we'll go ahead and pull these, I don't know what these are called, but these little spindle mounts, whatever. We'll pull them off, and we'll bring that all to work with me, where I've got my press and stuff. This one, man, it was close to wearing all the way through that bushing. It's not through it though, so that's good. I can still feel it down there in the hole, down in the bottom. So, excellent. It's not into the actual casting. And you can buy those. They're about $200 a piece. But I could replace those whole assemblies if I needed to. So, for now though, I think it's going to be alright. So, all that's going to take is just these two bolts, and then this one goes right through here. We'll have to get that driven out, and then pull these two bolts off, and this whole piece should just kind of fall right off. Both sides, same way. So hopefully those bolts don't fight me too much. It's all gone pretty well so far. Impact gun, got all the major stuff. Oh, and then the other thing on these that I'm going to be doing is replacing these lug studs themselves. So you can see, like this one, see how the threads are kind of rounded over. This one, for instance, it's missing a whole thread in there. It's missing some material. This one's in pretty bad shape as well. See how it's all rounded over? The threads aren't V-shaped anymore. That's not cool. I don't like that. That one's in pretty good shape. We're going to replace all of them though, all the way around. I've already got them bought. They're here. So these are pretty easy. They just press out from this side, press the new ones back in from the back side. Focus. Press out from this side. The new ones press back in from this side. So pretty easy. This is one of my bearings. It doesn't actually appear to be in that bad a shape, but it's going to get replaced anyway. And then in here, let's see how this one feels. The inner race of these bearings are pressed inside here. They are hard to get out of there. A lot of times you just replace the part with the rollers in it and leave the race intact. It feels pretty good. I may do that since I'll have kind of the facilities to press these out. I may go ahead and do it anyway. I've got them on hand. Like, see this one? This one's no good. I can feel right here there's some dents in there. What happens is over time those rollers, the other side of this one looks just like this. It's just bigger. It's sitting right there. But over time, these rollers can like cause little depressions in the race, and that will cause the bearings to fail prematurely. So I can feel right here, there's a spot that's bad on this one. That's not good, so that's going to have to get replaced. In fact, there's another spot. So that tells me that, you know, it needs to be replaced. That's what that tells me. So we're going to have to press that out somehow. It's going to be kind of a pain to do. It's all full of grease in there. It's nasty. But we'll get it out. So, and since I'm going to have to do that one, I'm just going to go ahead and do all 4 of them. Like I said, I've got the new races on hand. So, all right, pull this apart and we'll be done for the day. See you in the morning.